Hi, my name is Hannah Dunaway, and this is my Bio 101 project on the Doraceae family. This is a family of carnivorous plants, commonly known as sundews. They're often categorized by their rosette shapes, with their paddle-like leaves and their little mucus hairs that they use to attract their prey and gobble them up for nutrients. We started with a phylogenetic tree. The one I chose was based on the presence of the RBCL gene and how one of these species contained that gene, how they were closely related to another. Based on this tree, the first thing that popped out to me was these two gigantic clades. Obviously, there are clades within there. There's some big divide that is in relation to the RBCL gene. However, I wanted to know what environmental factors and geographical factors these plants had that also related to why they are that separate. So I began by looking, what is the Doraceae family? Like, what does that even include? So there are three big genera in the Doraceae family. There's the Drosera, with the Dionera, where your most commonly known Venus flytrap is, which I actually have one right here. Alvandandra, we'll say. That is actually a water species, and it grows in water. I focus on the Drosera, and that includes all of these very rosette shaped ones. This is one I have. It's actually in flower at the moment. Well, it's budding, so it'll be in flower soon. Looking at this, I started with Drosera arterii, and I was trying to figure out what their climate was, how they grew, what their soil conditions, what temperature, what humidity, because all these play a factor into growing plants. And I found that the arteria is actually not like most plants. They like cold weather. They're usually along sphagnum-lined pool, and sphagnum is a type of moss that is very airy but holds a lot of moisture. So I thought that was very unusual and cool to think about. And going on, I went to the Glandulagera, and it was the same thing. They thrived in this winter environment. The Drosera Kudaka they like their warm weather. Actually go through their cycle is 6 months of dry, 6 months of wet, and they're active growing leaves, growing flowers, fertilizing, producing more, where their dry period is their dormancy. So I jumped to the next clade to figure out where the one that's most closely related to Drosera arterii, where does that fall in the growing conditions? And that one is also a warm weather type of plant. This one's called Drosera sessilifolia, and it likes the very hot, humid, bright light. So after that, I was like, okay, well, that gives me almost nothing. Then I looked into where they originated. And arterii, the Glandulandera, and the Kudaka were all within Australia, New Zealand. The sessifolia was all over South America, all the way across the world. Most of that upper clade that starts with sessifolia and goes up, they all originate within the Americas, South America. The lower clade and the arterii are part of Australia and that side. So there I got curious as to the actual structure part of the plants. As you can see, the Drosera Duca. It has these very long petioles, while the other ones are more of this rosette. The arterii has these long petioles, but the carnivorous fibers are all the way down it. So going forward, that would be the part of the phylogeny I would want to look at most to see how these different environments and different climates affect what structures work best for that plant. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later.